Hello and welcome to the Cardiac Cats YouTube channel. I'm your host, Jacob Shorba, and I felt like this situation, we could probably clear up some things because we had talked about this yesterday and kind of only had partial information. I think most people did. There were a lot of assumptions made about the way Liam Coen went about taking this job and just the way that he treated the Bucks throughout this process. And while I'm not going to sit here and say that he did everything perfect, right? I'm not going to gaslight you. What was said about him yesterday was really only involving part of what actually happened. Yeah, I think a lot of it probably just came out as, sort of backlash from him walking back on the original deal with the Bucks and people being frustrated. And I get that, but it is unfair. And so I do want to clarify some of this stuff. Before I do, though, just something quick to note here that we had talked about yesterday. John Spytek has officially signed his deal with the Raiders. So he is out of the race. Like I said yesterday, I didn't think this was super likely. It was as much of a long shot as what the whole Liam Coen situation felt like. Plus, he'd be leaving one job for another job that's the same level, whereas Coen would be giving up an OC job for a head coach job. So, a little bit different there, but just wanted to note that real quick. But going back to this was the original tweet that came out that had everyone freaking out. It was that Liam Coen had contacted Todd Bowles around 5 p.m. yesterday, on Thursday. He said he was with one of his kids who had taken ill at a doctor's office, and he only mentioned the Jaguars situation briefly, saying he wanted to look back at it. So, pair this with the context that we were told that Liam Coen was in Jacksonville all day long, right? Because that's what everyone thought. I mean, there was even reports that he'd apparently flown in last night. Or actually not last night, it would be Wednesday night now, where I guess we're a little removed from some of this, so changes things. It's been a whirlwind. But he was not there on Wednesday night. He was not there the whole day with the Jaguars. He was in Tampa. And so you get this from his wife, Ashley Coen, saying, I hate that I even have to say this, but when people are negative about my kids, I will not be silent. Our son is sick. We were at the hospital yesterday seeing a specialist for autoimmune disease. Please don't spread misinformation and assume because you heard one side. So that's the first part of this. You also have Ian Rappaport, which I can't play this video just because I don't want this taken down. But Ian Rappaport essentially said that he was contacted by Shad Khan officially on Thursday in the afternoon. It was early afternoon. And that after they talked, a plane was sent out to Tampa to go pick him up in the early afternoon. So this is after all these things happened in the morning. So the timeline, it appears, and the air, we'll add more context here too. Liam Coen had ghosted the Buccaneers still before this point. And so I think it's probably the case that Liam Coen figured he was probably going to get a call from Jacksonville or something might happen. And obviously, if his major issue was Trent Baalke still being the general manager, and that had been fixed after he planned to go to Tampa Bay, you'd have some reservations, right? And this is a huge decision. It is somewhat unfair to the Bucks, but it's understandable why he may not be contacting them back because he doesn't want to have to give the answer yet, right? You want to think about these things. But if he reconsiders it, the Bucks made it to where he could not get his money. So, I mean, it just kind of puts you in a situation where it's like, it doesn't look great. The best thing you can do is ghost them, unfortunately, in his case. So, Liam Coen does that. He gets contacted Thursday, early afternoon, by the Jacksonville Jaguars. After his kid is sick, and they've been to the hospital, as they said here. They're seeing a specialist. And then he flies out to Jacksonville. They discuss the terms. He tells the Bucks briefly that he wants to reconsider it, which would void that contract that he agreed to, which was not signed yet, sounds like. Doesn't matter technically anyway, because he did get the job. And then later that night, we got all the reports that this is going to happen, and it just like felt like the slowest buildup to that possible when we knew it was going to take place. He flies back home, and then he is getting the deal done late that night. And this is another thing from a source on Liam Coen. Ultimately, things changed with the job, and he felt like he owed it to himself to speak with Jacksonville about a head coaching position. And then at the time this was put out, which this was last night at 9 Eastern, a contract not been offered as of last check because they were, still negotiating a lot of these things. So ultimately, this is a situation where why did we get, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars screwed up this search from the start. They should not have kept Trent Baalke. It was a very poor decision. And it limited their candidates. It did lose them Ben Johnson. And yeah, I'm probably biased on that now, not going to lie. But I am happy that we ended up where we did ultimately. Not really happy with the whole process, other than the last day and a half, or almost 2 days now. But I am happy we got Liam Coen at the end of the day. I think this is going to be a really good fit for Jacksonville, and I think he was top head coach alongside Ben Johnson during this cycle. But ultimately, the way this process went and was handled was poor by Jacksonville. They pivoted well, but they put Liam Coen and the Buccaneers in this situation because Coen didn't expect for Trent Baalke to be fired. That was not something he thought was going to happen because if he did, he wouldn't have pulled his name from the head coaching search, right? He was the favorite. He was supposed to get this job. Everything was pointing towards that. That was the expectation. It was just, we got to get the Rooney Rule done, and then we can get offered the job. That was the thought process. So, Jacksonville's at fault for why it even got to this point, based off their decision-making before they finally got rid of Trent Baalke. As far as Liam Coen, yeah, could you contact him back quicker? Sure. But if you get... Think if you're Liam Coen, right? And Jacksonville calls you back, and they say, hey, we did get rid of Trent Baalke. Would you reconsider? And then maybe they don't offer to you more money. Maybe they offer you the same. Or maybe they say they're still going to choose the GM. You're going to be under this guy, or maybe you don't have a say in it. He might have wanted to reject the job at that point. Maybe he wanted to rejected that before pulling his name out of the race, but he might have rejected it after because it is a bad look, regardless of intentions. So, ultimately, it puts him in a really rough situation to where, what do you do, right? Because if you had rejected that job then, and you don't tell the Bucs that you even talk to them, you're getting paid a lot more money, right? You're going to want that money for your family. But if you tell them and then you don't even take the job, it's like, well, I just screwed myself. Now I'm getting paid, probably half of what I was before. So, or the same what I was before, but half of what I could have been. So, yeah. Is he a snake? No. I don't believe that. I think that ultimately, I understand why Bucs fans are upset. Totally get that. I'm not going to be mad at anyone for being very upset about this situation. It sucks for them. Doesn't suck for us, but it does suck for them. And ultimately, if you want to blame someone for how this thing panned out, Shad Khan would be the person to blame because he kept Trent Baalke. At the end of the day, I'm not mad about it because they corrected the process, they sorted things out, and they made the right move, in my opinion. So I'm not mad about it, but that is why we got here. So I just wanted to clear that up because, last night we didn't have full context, and I think some of my coverage on it was, yeah, it was kind of dirty by him, but, he went to our team, so I'm happy about it, and that wasn't even fair to say. So just want to clear that up, but, here we are. Liam Coen is the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Really exciting times. They're going to be looking for the GM together. We'll see who that's going to be. Got some really good candidates out there, but if you wanted to have hope in this team. Hope that things are going to change. Whether or not this works out, the Jaguars are taking a legitimate, calculated shot at someone who has the upside to be a great head coach in the NFL. And that's all you can ask for. They're resolving a lot of the issues they've had before. They won alignment. They've mentioned so many things that we were frustrated about, and you only hope that they follow through and actually do it. And at this point, after seeing some tough decisions being made the last couple of days, maybe some humble pie being eaten, I have a lot more faith that they're going to carry this out properly. And this is going to be a team that has a bright future. So that's all I got, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see if we have anything else today. I'm not really sure. We should have an announcement of Liam Coen being signed to the Jaguars this morning from the team, or maybe this afternoon. We will see. Maybe we'll have a video talking more in depth about Liam Coen's time. We've kind of hinted at that. We've discussed him a lot on this channel, but maybe I haven't done that properly. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And hopefully next week, I'm crossing my fingers he goes to the Senior Bowl. I really want him out there because I got to get like an autograph or something from him, or tell him like how much of a local hero he is, because this guy got rid of Trent Baalke and he's the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, all these things you would have asked for. So that's incredible. And there's even a rumor I saw that Trent Baalke apparently called him back to consider this job now that he was gone. If that's the case, what a wild ending. But I don't know. Apparently that was mentioned on 1010XL. But yeah, just a crazy couple of days. And I think things will start to calm down. And we'll see what happens. But appreciate y'all watching. Want to shout out our channel members really quick. Premier Seer 904, Mr. Dolphin, Scrubber Ducky 500, and Brian Foster. For anyone looking to become a channel member, anyone who's a channel member who sees any like functions missing right now, currently I'm waiting on AdSense to be verified, so I have to get something in the mail, and I'm waiting on that to get to my house. Once it does, I should be able to verify that, and we should be good in fixing all these problems, because I didn't realize it shut down any of the monetization as well. Also, on top of that, we are like less than 50 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. So it would be incredible if we got to that landmark, that milestone, we'll call it, before I get back from the Senior Bowl. We'll see what happens, but to everyone who has been subscribing and supporting this channel, I am incredibly appreciative. It is so fun to be able to do this stuff, to be able to talk about this, and to talk to a lot of great fans here, because these are great fans in Jacksonville. So with that all said, appreciate y'all watching. Enjoy your day. Go celebrate. And finally, go Jags.